Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first panel of Terminus. This is exciting, right? Yes. Very first year of Terminus here. Honestly, thanks to the movie, it's called the movie credit, right? The Georgia tax incentives. The movie industry benefited from it, and they've talked about like how many couple of $1 billion they've made. The gaming industry here in Georgia exploded, and so for $2 billion that the movie industry has generated, the gaming industry has generated around almost $8 billion. All those silly little apps that are on your cell phone that people love to play, a lot of those games are being made here in Georgia, not just South Korea, like most people think, or India or China, but actually here in Georgia, and it's a huge opportunity for small studios. Now, what's interesting is a lot of times people forget about how important voiceover might be, but voiceover is critical. It's essential in every aspect because it adds another layer to the game, and it makes it more interactive.
It's necessary to have a good voice. You have to have that, but it's not sufficient. You also need to be able to act. And that's what is going to separate you from everyone else who has a great voice.
It all begins with your emotion. So it all begins with breathing, right? Before you ever take on a character, how do they breathe? How do they sound when they're running? How do they sound when they're hiding? How do they sound when they're excited or scared, right? It's all about emotion.
Find your strengths. You may only have one good voice when you start out. When I started, all I had was sexy because I'd been praised for that for so long. So everything was like this. It could be Trojan condoms or children with AIDS in Africa. I had nowhere else to go but sexy. So for me, it was again learning how to. When I was building my demo, learning that I had to get a couple other voices.
Part of what I coach is if you can make it through a drive-through. When you order food, when you order lunch, in whatever the particular character voice is, that's the amount of time you need to make it when you're in the studio. Order the number 2, but I only want ketchup, lettuce, no mustard, no onions, and bacon, please. You are a business owner, okay? If you're gonna become a voice talent or a voice actor, you're a business owner. So your business, your product that you're selling, instead of the fun, shiny pen, it's the confidence or the qualities or the range of your voice. To protect your voice, don't smoke, first and foremost. Do not smoke, right? But you have to strengthen your voice. You have to treat it like it's a muscle, like it's a product. So that means you have to read out loud. And of course, I'm sure there are a lot of people here who are great readers that read internally, but you have to read externally, vocally. You have to be able to project.
Range definitely, opens up the options, right? The more range you have, the more opportunities you have. However, to get range, you have to work.
Yes, agents help, but they can't get you started and get you motivated, right? Agents don't want you until you're already booking. So you have to find your own work.
Yeah.
A lot of people on the upper echelon are very, very quiet about how to help you do what they do. Even now, like you'll sit on panels and people will ask like, well, how do you do it? And people like us will be like, well, just follow your dream. And you're like, yeah. And you get out the door, you're like, what the hell did that mean?
You want to contact different production studios, different production directors. You want to contact the people that can potentially hire you. You want to network with people like us. You want to network at conventions like this, right?
Yeah.
You want to make a personal connection so that the person that you meet remembers you and that you get their email so that you can follow up with them so that you can gain an introduction, because this is a job of who you know. Most important, be willing to take direction. You don't even know yet what you don't know about the business. So you have to be willing to take direction and trust others.
I was rewriting and editing a lot in the booth when an actor would read something and it would sound off, or they would have an intuition, be like, and you have to learn to trust that. You have to learn the sound engineer, the director, anyone can have a good idea. Anyone can add to the line and say, that's a really corny line, get rid of it, or that's amazing, we play this up.
A reel is your introduction. It is your handshake. And if you have a dirty hand, nobody's going to touch you. So, and we've had beautiful voices, just gorgeous voices, and the reel was awful. And it was like having this gorgeous, beautiful steak served on a trash can lid. And it was just like, man,
great analogy, isn't it? Like nice visual.
Yeah, the steak was gorgeous, but trash can lid.
Thank you again for coming in.